In Crimea, temporarily occupied by the aggressor country Russia, partisans of the Atesh movement recorded the enemy removing military equipment from one of the military units. Agents reported that unusual movements were recorded in Sevastopol at the permanent deployment point for storing equipment. The territory of the unit is now almost empty, with only a small amount of equipment remaining. On the spot, there are civilian women and elderly people who are cleaning up. Judging by the photographs, there is almost no military equipment. Only a few new Gaz and Kamaz trucks. There are also few soldiers. Our agents noticed them only on the tower and on the hill, the report says. Atesh suggests that this is due to a lack of equipment at the front, and the remaining vehicles were sent to other areas. There were reports of powerful explosions that thundered in the morning of May the 16th in the temporarily occupied Crimea. It was loud in particular in Sevastopol and Perevalnoye. Drones of the Security Service of Ukraine hit ammunition depots of the 126th Coastal Defense Brigade of the Russian Federation in the Crimea. Drones organized a serious bombing of the ammunition depots of the 126th Coastal Defense Brigade of the Russian Federation, which is located near the village of Perevalnoye in Crimea. There were boxes for storing military equipment, weapons and fuel and lubricants there, the service clarified. Videos have appeared online showing a powerful detonation and fires in the enemy warehouses. Local residents also report smoke over the territory of the military unit itself. The situation is so serious that the Russians even blocked traffic on the Simferopol-Alushta highway, which passes by the village of Perevalnoye. There is also information about the death of Russian soldiers who were at the military warehouse. The SBU continues to work effectively on legitimate military targets in the territory of Crimea captured by the Russians. Work on weakening the enemy's military capabilities will continue in the future, an informed source said. Earlier, it became known that Russians were moving property from the 810th Marine Brigade from Sevastopol, which was temporarily occupied by the aggressor country. The empty barracks confirm the security measures taken by the occupiers. It is possible that such preparations are related to the increased risk of the facility in the near future, the statement said. In addition, the partisans discovered a cluster of military equipment on the territory of the unit, which was carefully hidden under camouflage nets. This also suggests that the occupiers are afraid of being attacked by Ukrainian forces.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer said on Friday Russian President Vladimir Putin's absence from talks with Ukraine is clear evidence he does not want peace. According to Associated Press speaking in Albania, Starmer said Putin is dragging his heels after spurning an offer by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to meet face-to-face in Turkey to try to secure a ceasefire. Zelensky is joining the leaders of dozens of European countries and organizations for a one-day summit in Albania's capital to discuss security and defense challenges across the continent, with Russia's so-called military campaign of Ukraine at the top of the agenda.
Well, I think that what we saw yesterday and overnight is yet more evidence that Putin is not serious about peace. He's been dragging his heels, and I think it's really important, therefore, that we have absolute unity with our allies. We'll be working on that again today to be clear that there must be a ceasefire, but also to be clear that should there not be a ceasefire, then we will act together in relation to sanctions. But for me, this is clear evidence that Putin doesn't seriously want peace. He's dragging his heels, and that's why today is a really important opportunity to work with colleagues to make sure that we are absolutely united, and President Zelensky will be here today, so we will be discussing the situation with him. In the last 2 weeks you've seen the UK do a trade deal with India, really important for our country and our national interest. Trade deal with the US, again important for our country and national interest. I'm positive going into Monday, and I think that this is an important moment for our country that will be measured in the benefits to working people and their living standards. But we're positive as we go into the summit on Monday. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll get over the thorny issue, the fishy one.
Norway will complete the delivery of promised F-16 aircraft to Ukraine by 2025, the country's defense minister Tor Sandvik said, NRK reports. He recalled that Norway had already handed over some of the aircraft to Ukraine. Other aircraft are being provided to Ukraine according to plan. However, due to concerns about Ukraine's operational security, the exact number of aircraft is not being announced. He also noted that last year the country's government increased support for the Ukrainian Air Force by 1.3 billion Norwegian kroner. With this grant, Norway is contributing to improving Ukraine's air defense in cooperation with other members of the Air Defense Coalition, Sandvik said. Recall, Norway is providing military assistance to Ukraine and has joined the Air Force coalition. Ukraine received its first F-16 fighter jets from its partners in the summer of last year. Initially, this was reported by Western media, and a few days later, the information was confirmed by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. In October of last year, Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov announced that Norway would soon deliver 6 F-16s to Ukraine. However, the exact number of fighter jets already provided to Ukrainian defenders remains unknown. It was reported, though, that the jets have already taken part in defending Ukrainian airspace during massive Russian attacks. Additionally, on March 19 of this year, President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that a new batch of F-16 fighter jets had arrived in Ukraine. At the beginning of April, NATO Supreme Allied Commander Europe General Christopher Cavally said that additional F-16s were being prepared for transfer to Ukraine, although he did not specify which country was planning to make the delivery.